All right, 20 more questions related to the California and National Real Estate Exam. My name is Jake Burke. I do not have my license yet. I am studying with you guys, and you guys are studying with me so we can pass the real estate exam together. Today's 20 questions are on contracts. It's not my best subject, so give me a little break. If you are also trying to get your real estate license and pass the real estate exam, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going over test questions all the time, vocab words all the time, concepts all the time. We're studying together. We're going to pass this real estate exam. It's going to be great. All right, the way this works, think of it as a 20-question quiz. I am currently using the Colibri platform. I have an affiliate link down below if you guys would like to follow along with me. They have exam prep. They have the pre-licensing courses. They have everything that you need to pass your real estate exam. They cover, I think, almost all 50 states. Click the link below and get your journey started to pass the real estate exam. Question number 1, when a lease is assigned, the assignee becomes a landlord, an assigner, a tenant, a lessor. When a lease is signed, who assigned the lease? The assignee, I think landlord, right? Incorrect, the tenant. Okay, so I got those mixed up back and forth. The question rationale, when a lease is assigned, the primary liability shifts to the assignee and they become a tenant. When a lease property is sublet, the primary liability remains with the original lease and the person to whom the property is sublet becomes the sublessee. Okay, we're 0 for 1. Question number 2. A minor is an incompetent, someone under 18 years of age, someone emancipated, someone under 21 years of age. For California, they're going to be under 18. I'm going to say incompetent, though, just to cover everything. Okay. 0 for 2. The correct answer is someone under 18 years of age. Question rationale. Parties entering into a contract must have a legal capacity to do so. A person must be at least 18 years of age, married, in the military, or declared emancipated by the court. A minor, a person under 18 years of age, is not considered legally capable. Question 3. An affirmed statement sworn to is an affidavit, an acknowledgement, delivered, an affirmation. I'm going to say an affidavit. Remember, guys, I told you guys in the beginning, contract is my worst subject. This is why we're studying it. We're learning. We'll check the answer. Correct. All right, I got one. Question rationale. An affidavit is a sworn statement written down and made under oath before a notary public or officially authorized by law to administer an oath. Its purpose is to help establish or prove a fact, and it is a complete instrument within itself. Question number 4. If the landlord and the area real estate manager of a national retailer both execute a lease and the corporation fails to occupy the premises, what might prevent the landlord from enforcing the terms of the contract? No corporate resolution granting signing authority to reveal real estate manager was approved. The broker did not have a written listing. The real estate manager had authority to make the deal. The economy declined and the retailer was closing their stores. If the landlord and the area real estate manager of a national retailer both execute a lease and the corporation fails to occupy the premises, what might prevent the landlord from enforcing the terms of contract? I'm going to go, I don't think they did have a written listing. The real estate manager had authority to make the deal. Okay. Economy, I'm going to go, I think it's A or D. No resolution granting. I'm going to go with this. No corporate resolution granting signing authority to the real estate manager was correct. A broker should always make sure when the principals in a transaction are not personally executing binding documentation that their representatives have full authority to commit to the principal to the terms of the obligation. Neither favorable nor unfavorable general economic conditions are required elements of contract, nor is the existence of a broker listing agreement. The landlord might, however, be able to claim damages from the retailer if the retailer's real estate manager said they had authority to sign, and in doing so, exceeded the scope of their agency. So that's why they explained why it's not these other ones, and they explained why it is this top one. Question number 5. Which of the following would identify a rider? Donee, amendment, encroachment, people. A rider, huh? I don't think it's an amendment. I don't think it's an encroachment. Donee or people? I'm going to go with Donee. Okay, it is an amendment. A rider is an addition or an amendment to an existing document. Okay, we got to know what the vocab word is, rider. Remember, guys, if I'm going too fast or too slow, if I'm going too fast, pause it, read the question rationale. If I'm going too slow, Skip to the next one. You already know this answer. Skip to the next one. Subscribe. Go to the next video. I got plenty of videos all on passing the real estate exam. Question number 6. An agreement of sale is a contract between seller, buyer, and mortgagee, between buyer and seller, between seller and broker, between buyer and broker. Agreement of sale is a contract between seller, buyer, and mortgagee, buyer and seller. I just want to say buyer and seller, but it could be buyer and broker. Okay, don't overthink it. Question rationale. An agreement of sale, most often called a sales contract, is between the buyer and seller. The listing is between a broker and seller. So the listing is the broker and seller. The agreement of sale, sales contract, is buyer and seller. Question 7. A lessor and lessee agree to the terms, and the lessor draws up a 5-year lease, signs it, and mails it to the lessee. The lessee does not sign it, but moves in and pays 2 months' rent. After 2 months, the lessee decides to move out and informs the lessor. Which of the following is true? There is a valid lease as lessee has moved in and paid 2 months' rent. The lease is invalid as there is no contract to enforce. The lease is invalid as statute of fraud states that a lease for more than 1 year must be in writing and signed by both lessor and lessee. There is a valid lease as only the lessor has to sign it. 5-year lease, signs it, mails it to the lessee. The lessee does not sign it, but moves in and pays 2 months' rent. I don't know if it's valid if you don't sign it, but if you've moved in and paid 2 months' rent, there is a valid lease. So the two options that are valid, there is a valid lease as lessee's moved and paid. I'm gonna try that one. Correct. Okay. Lessee does not have to sign the lease to be bound to it as long as he either takes possession or pays rent in advance. Okay. So if you go into that place and move in and you're paying rent, it doesn't matter if you sign the lease, you're in that lease. The right of the landlord to reclaim the property after the lease has expired is known as revisionary right, surrender, right of appropriation, remainder. I'm going to go with right of appropriation. Incorrect. Revisionary right. The landlord continues to own the property and is only given the tenant the right to use the property. Appropriation refers to taking a public thing for private use. Okay, that's what I picked. We're not using that for private use. Surrender refers to the tenant giving the leased property back to the landlord before the expiration of the lease. So we're not surrendering either. We are revisionary righting. Next question. Question number 9. If upon a receipt of purchase under certain terms, the seller makes a counteroffer, the prospective purchaser is relieved of their original offer, bound to accept the counteroffer, bound by the original offer, bound by the agent's decision. If upon a receipt of purchase under certain terms, the seller makes a counteroffer, the prospective purchaser is, I want to say relieved of the original offer if they're doing a counteroffer. Correct. Remember that a counteroffer is both a rejection of the original offer and the making of a new offer with new terms. Once the offer has been rejected, it may not be accepted later. Question number 10. What are liquidated damages? Losses suffered when liquidating a business. Paper money that has been soaked for 24 hours. A cashier's check that is used to empty a broker's trust account. Any amount the parties agree on to settle a potential dispute. I want to say losses suffered when liquidating a business. It's not paper money. We know for a fact that it's not paper money that has been soaked for 24 hours. So now we're at 3 out of 4 that we have an option. I'm going to go with A. Incorrect. Any amount the parties agree on to settle a potential dispute is the correct answer. And here's why. Liquidated damages are an amount of money the parties agree upon in advance before entering into a contract that will serve as damages in a case of breach. Often the good faith deposit or earnest money serves as liquidated damage in the case of breach of a buyer. On the other hand, if the seller breaches the contract, the liquidated damage may serve to eliminate a suit for specific performance. I should have known this because I'm not really talking about a business here. We're talking, so in the earnest money, it makes sense. Question number 11, an agreement that allows an agent to receive all money over a set price as commission instead of percentage is called net listing, open listing, exclusive authorization and right to sell, exclusive authorization and right to locate. An agreement that allows an agent to receive all money over a set price of commission. I'm going to say net listing. Correct. An agreement that allows an agent to receive all money over a set price is a net listing. The agent must disclose the selling price and the amount of commission when presenting an offer. I think net listing, you want to, if you're an agent, you want to get a net listing. It sounds like you're going to make a lot of money. Question 12, commingling refers to meetings with brokers and sales agents. Meetings with both brokers and sales associates present, depositing clients' fund in the broker's operating account, employing realtors and non-realtors in the same office, cooperating with another broker in a transaction. Okay. I think you're commingling the funds. Meetings with brokers, depositing client funds into the broker. I'm going to go with employees, realtors. No. Maybe this one actually. Two brokers are commingling. Incorrect. So this is what I originally thought, and I doubted myself. Depositing client funds in the broker's operating account is commingling. Excuse me. A broker is required by the law to have a special trust account to avoid commingling clients' funds with the broker's funds. A broker may nevertheless maintain some of the broker's own funds in the special trust account, but only when they are clearly identified as the broker's funds and used for the purpose of maintaining a minimum balance to keep the account open or to cover bank service charges. All salespeople in a brokerage must be realtors if the broker is a realtor. Question 13. Commissions are determined by federal law, state law. All commissions are negotiable. Broker policy. All commissions are negotiable. Fairly certain that this is a big NAR lawsuit that just happened. I'm going to go with that. Correct. Commission is not set by law and is always negotiable. Perfect. We got one right, guys. Question 14. Adam and Jenny enter into an agreement wherein Adam will buy Jenny's house at the asking price if Jenny will install a new roof and if Adam can qualify for a loan sufficient to cover the purchase. Until the roof is installed and the financing obtained, the contract is said to be rescinded, executed, voidable, executory. I want to say voidable because if they don't do that, then it's going to be void. Incorrect. Oh, okay, that makes sense. You're going to execute the stuff. Executory. An executory contract is one in which the parties have agreed to the terms, but some conditions still remain to be fulfilled by the parties. Once all the conditions are met and all that remains is the closing, that contract is said to be complete or executed. A voidable contract is one that may be rescinded, and a contract that has been rescinded is void. All right, guys, we're almost done with this. If you want to follow along on the next video or even this video, there is a link down below to the Colibri exam prep, the course licenses, everything that you need to pass the real estate exam. Full disclosure, it is an affiliate link, and I do get a little bit of money, but it is currently the best way to support the channel. Also subscribe, like, all that stuff. Sorry, let's get back to the questions. Question number 15. Which of the following is true of a voidable contract? A voidable contract may be enforceable at the option of the innocent party. A signed real estate contract cannot be voided. All parties to the contract must have reached 16 years of age or can be voided. A forged contract is voidable. If they're not 16, then I feel like it can be voided. A voidable contract may be enforceable. A signed real estate, yeah, I'm going to go with that one. Incorrect. Okay. A voidable contract may be enforceable at the option of the innocent party. And here's why. Only the injured party has the right to void a contract, but is not required to. Reasons might include intoxication, menace, or duress, fraud or misrepresentation, or minority status of one of the parties. Is that not what I clicked? Minority status? So if someone's intoxicated, a menace or duress, fraud, minority, then you could void the contract. Question 16. If buyer B purchases a property from seller S by an installment land contract, when will title pass to buyer B? When the deed is placed in escrow, when the deed is delivered to the buyer, when the seller exercises the liquidated damage clause, when the contract has been signed by all parties. I want to say when the deed is placed in escrow or when the deed is delivered to the buyer. I think we'll go with the escrow. If buyer B purchases a property from seller S by installment land contract. Remember, installment land contract. Okay, so I knew it was one of these two. When the deed is delivered to the buyer, buyer B does not come into title until the deed is delivered. This will occur when all the contract terms are fulfilled, including the final payment to the seller. Question 17. Broker Bruce, on behalf of his client Jim, who wanted to buy a lot from Tom, submits to Tom a purchase and sales agreement signed by Jim and stipulating the price of $25,000, a sales commission of 6%, and closing within 90 days. Tom accepts the price, changes the commission to 5%, the closing period to 45 days, initials the changes, and then signs and returns the contract brokered Bruce, who gives it to Jim. Is the contract valid? All right, so we have 3 different names. There's a lot going on in this question. We got a sales price, we got a sales commission, we got a closing date, closing days, and they all changed. And is it okay that they changed? I want to say yes, it is, because Tom initialed. So here's the options. Yes, because Tom initialed his changes. Yes, because it is in writing and signed by both parties. No, because the broker's commission is non-negotiable. No, because there was no meeting of the minds. It's not no. It's not no. The broker's commission is negotiable. Meeting of the minds, that doesn't mean. Yes, because it is in writing and signed by both parties. Yes, because Tom, I want to go with yes, because it is in writing and signed by both parties. Incorrect. Okay. Well, here we go. We're learning. No, because there was no meeting of the minds. There was no meeting of the minds. Acceptance must not vary the terms of the offer. When Tom failed to accept Jim's offer as submitted, he in effect rejected it, and Jim's offer became void. When Tom altered the terms, initialed his changes, and then sent the contract back to Jim, it became a new offer or counteroffer for Jim to consider. Had Jim then signed and initialed Tom's version without a further change and communicated his acceptance to Tom, the contract would have been valid. Broker's commission is always negotiable. Okay, we got that part right. So he just needed to tell him about it. When Tom failed to accept Jim's offer as submitted, he has in fact rejected it, and Jim's offer became void. Altered the term, sent the contract, it became a new counter. Question 18. Who does not have to sign the lease? The lessee, the landlord, the lessor, or the broker? I want to say the broker. We did just have a question about how you didn't have to sign it if you moved in and you paid rent, and that was the lessee. Let's see. It was the lessee. Okay, so we overthought that one. This is an easy question if you can remember who is the lessor and who's the lessee. In California, only the lessor has to sign a lease. Taking possession is considered acceptance by lessee. All right, that was what we learned from the last question too. If you take possession and pay rent, then you don't have to sign a lease. You're in that lease. And question 19, an instrument in writing that transfers ownership of tangible property is called mortgage, blanket mortgage, listing, bill of sale. An instrument in writing that transfers ownership of tangible property is called, I want to say, a bill of sale. Correct. I got one right, guys. Question rationale. A bill of sale transfers only tangible property, i.e. furniture, while a real estate contract is a contract to transfer real estate. Okay, next question. The last question, guys. Remember, I am trying to study for this real estate exam with you guys. I haven't scheduled my test yet, but I will be soon. We're going over vocab words, questions, concepts, everything that you need to know to pass the real estate exam. Subscribe to the channel. We have so many more videos coming out, and we're going to be studying together. It's going to be awesome. Last question. 20. Question 20. Who is authorized to rescind a voidable contract? Either party, only the minor, the agent and the seller only, neither. Only a void contract may be rescinded. Who is authorized to rescind a voidable contract? Either party. If it's a voidable contract, I'm going to say either party. Only the minor. Okay. Let's read about it. Question rationale. Only a voidable contract may be rescinded, and only by the injured party. A minor is not held accountable in a real estate contract and therefore may rescind the contract due to lack of contractual capacity. A void contract is not really a contract at all because it lacks one of the essential elements or is defective in some other way and therefore is unenforceable. All right, guys. Let's see. I don't think we did very good. We got 8 correct and we missed 12. So what do I like to do when I miss these questions? I do this off the video. I will hand write down each of these questions and answers. There's some science behind actually writing down the questions and answers to get you to remember them better. Also, speaking them out loud is helping me. Thank you for following along. Back in the classroom. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. Like I said a million times, we have so much more content coming. Test questions, vocab words, everything that you need to know to pass the real estate exam. I'm trying to learn all this stuff with you guys. So it's a fun thing. We're studying together. And like I said, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.